Hey there everyone, it is Bob Martin, the RC Subguy with the NautilusDryDocks.com. Got a little project today, want to share with you. It's really applicable for a lot of you with fiberglass hulls for your RC submarines. I got a hull that's all warped to heck, and we're going to see what we can do to straighten it out. All right, what we have here actually is something really cool. This is a fiberglass hull of the UFO Skydiver from the 1960s era sci-fi series. Now that was a little bit before my time, but it is a cool looking boat. I'm going to put a little picture of that up over here so you can see what it's supposed to look like when it's done. These are the major hull pieces. We've got the lower hull, the upper hull, and a lid. Now, these two pieces fit okay, but that is warped like a W, and it should be, you know, flat. So not cool. It doesn't sit very nice on the upper hull here. So you can see these like massive gaps here, and just doesn't work very good. So we're going to do our best to try and straighten this out. Now, the tool of choice, the weapon of choice, heat gun. The issue is, if you've got a green casting, a green layup, and when I say green, it was basically freshly done. That means that that polyester resin is still curing, and it can cure for like a year afterwards. You'll smell it, you know, when you take the part, you'll smell that polyester resin. This is like a 20-year-old hull, so the fiberglass has long since cured. That means this is not going to take as well to the application of heat in the effort of trying to straighten things out. But we're going to give it a try. The only other option is to cut and glue and paste and reinforce and try and make all that happen. And I just don't have the margin in this boat to make that happen. So we're going to hope that the application of some judicial heat will straighten things out to the point we get a nice fit. And we'll see how it goes. So let me get the camera set up. We'll give it a try. Okay, what I am going to try to do here is utilize a piece of flat plywood as the foundational basis for a true flat part. The one I'm most worried about is this one. Like I said before, if you take a look at it, it's like a W, and we don't want that. These two edges here should be in line. They should be parallel to each other. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to heat this up on the inside, flip it over, clamp it down, and then heat it up on the outside, hoping that this will relax the fibers inside, you know, partially soften up the resin. And then when it cools, I'm hoping it's going to retain its shape. So let's give it a try. All right, that part is now hot to the touch, and I can smell a little resin, which is making me feel a little bit better about things. Oh yeah, actually, this is softened up really, really nice. All right, we're gonna clamp this thing down to this piece of plywood on all four corners. I think this might work. At the very least, this is going to get much, much closer than it was before, to the point where it's potentially feasible to use putty, you know, and filler and sanding to get things perfect. So let me heat the other side. All right, that's done. Now we're going to let it cool. All right, this is still clamped. I haven't done anything with this. We're still waiting for it to cool. It's just warm to the touch now. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes. I went ahead and softened this up. It looks like there was a warp right at this point. The hull will actually sit pretty flush because it's so thin here. It's easy to massage down into place. This was all twisted. Well, it was twisted. So I just clamped this to the table. The table is a nice flat surface, so we've got basically a nice flat mating surface on the bottom of it. I just finished this up. It's cooling right now. It's really interesting. It was twisted, and then as soon as I applied the heat, the whole thing just relaxed, kind of back to its normal shape. So that was really interesting to see. Hopefully this will stick in the shape that it's in right now, and the mate between these two pieces will be close enough that we could potentially tape it and get ready to apply a seam around the outside. Actually, I'm not going to do it. I just don't have time to take on this project. So this is going to be offered for sale to anybody that's interested in it. But in the meantime, we're cleaning it up a little bit for them so they need to do less work, and I can share with you guys how I go about making everything fit together a little bit more nicely. Now, just as this is cooling, just a quick note. I mentioned before that this is polyester resin, and once polyester resin fully cures out, it's a little bit more difficult to massage back into shape. Now, fortunately, this hull was quite thin. It's less than 1/8 of an inch in thickness. Larger hulls, you know, like that big Baleo up there that might have hulls that are up to like 1/4 of an inch thick, are going to be much, much more difficult to massage back into place. So that's polyester resin, and you can kind of tell when you look on the inside of the parts, because it's a mesh. It's like a, let me see if I can show that to you. It's not a cloth. It's a mat of randomly arrayed glass fibers. And if you look at something like this, you can see the cloth surface, which was much more uniform. This is epoxy, and the other one is polyester. Epoxy takes much, much better to thermoforming than the polyester resin does. So we're going to fast forward here a couple minutes, let this thing cool down, and then we're going to see what we ended up with. So first kind of a fitment, you can see we're much, much better here. That'll be really easily drawn down with just a little bit of tape. And then on the inside, if you do a little bit of a layup, just a 1-inch wide strip, everything should look really good. Much better. So let's unclamp this thing and see what ended up happening with the top here. That's a little better. All right. This goes down here like this. Yeah, that is a lot better. You just got to get this kind of down or whatever. But anyhow, much better of a fitment there. So there you go. That is a little bit of an overview about how we tweak fiberglass hulls. Hopefully, if this is of use to you, you'll be able to fix slight warps. The heat trick works for basically thermoplastic. So if you've got a styrene model kit that's got a warp, you can use heat to straighten that out again. If you've got a resin model kit, you can use heat to straighten that out as well. Just make sure you don't overdo it, because you can ruin a boat. You don't want to get it too hot. So with that, I'll let you go. Again, this is Bob Martin, the RC Sub Guy with the NautilusDryDocks.com, and hey,